Hello, Sparrows. Good evening, Sparrows. It is Matters of the Heart Monday, and I am Valerie Miller of TVM. The Valerie Miller Double Fold. This very moment, you have opportunity to change. So come on into the room. We're going to have a juicy tonight. We have a fabulous guest that's coming in from Raleigh, North Carolina. She's a Carolina girl, and that is LaTonya Meori. She's a gospel artist, one of the wonderful people that I've had the privilege of meeting. So come on into the room. She should be in with us shortly. Hopefully you've had a fabulous start to your week. I know I have. It's always a blur by the time I get to you at this time of the evening. Of course, as always, the platform is on the basis of how I became fabulous and the lady all the time, and how we marry literature and lyrics together, because it's always about the music. It's all about how we going about our days, dealing with things that take place in our lives, and our choice of direction, right? So come on into the room, and LaTonya should be with us momentarily. Hello, Brenda Richard. Welcome in. Welcome in. How are you doing this evening? I am over the top fabulous. I tell you that. I am very excited, totally excited. And I cannot wait to get LaTonya in the room so we can get our conversation started. I've sent her an invitation. I want to believe she's already trying to come in. So we're going to see if we can get her in so we can get our conversation started for tonight, as I cannot wait. That I cannot do. Tell one thing fabulous that you're grateful for today. You know, I was sitting here and I was working on my gratitude time. I haven't posted that for today. So after the broadcast tonight, I will be getting that on and out on my timeline, as always. That I will be doing. And there she is. Hello, lady.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Fabulous. I can hear you. How are you
Oh,
doing
okay, good.
today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I can't complain. Just that the
Awesome.
day went like that
It did. It did.
for a
Yeah,
Monday.
we had a training
Hmm.
today and it was wonderful. I was able to sit with my co-laborers and it was just like a big family reunion. So I'm filled with joy right now.
Uh-huh. Very good. Very
Yeah.
good. Very good. Well, welcome in and welcome to TVM, Matters of the Heart Monday. It's a pleasure to have you in the room
Yes.
with me.
Awesome. I'm glad to be here. Hi, everyone. I can't see because I don't see the comments. So, hi,
And
everyone.
in order to see them, swipe your screen left, and you should be able to
Okay.
view and see who's coming in.
Oh, okay. Yes.
See, it's
Yes.
just that
Hi.
easy. It is. It is.
Wow.
Veronica Mars, welcome in. And Sparrows, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are grateful to see you guys coming in. I know it's always juice, it's always something unexpected that takes place in the room. That's why it's an unscripted platform, because you never know what's going to take place or what's going to come out and up. Something that can benefit you always. That's what it's all about. Inspiration, admiration, all of those positive things that's going to get you to soar through your day and through your life. So, LaTonya, I've shared some things on the timeline about you. We did a mini
Mhm.
commercial on Friday, right?
We
So
did.
I'm going to pass the baton over to you so you can formally introduce yourself and give
Okay.
the Sparrows and your followers that are coming into the room some insight as to who you are and how you've become who you are this very moment.
Okay. Sure. So I'm
Yeah.
LaTonya Meori from Raleigh, North Carolina, born and raised. I just love the Lord. I sing His goodness and mercy. He's been so good to me. So I just feel like my purpose is to just lead other people to Christ,
Hmm.
to serve Him in song, serve Him in ministry. wherever he leads me. So right now I have 2 singles out on all digital platforms,
Great.
and I'm excited about that. And I have some new music coming out soon. So hopefully we can premiere it tonight so everyone can hear it. But I'm excited. I'm thankful for you trusting me on this platform on tonight.
Of course I do. It just felt right. It felt right. And I can be very picky about who I do allow to come on. That I want to lie about, because
Yeah.
it's all about having alignment and knowing who's coming on because it's a representation. I just have the inspiration to transformation platform. And with that being in place, that's why I'm very strategic about who comes on because the message is strong. It's about life and changing and learning from experiences and doing what we have to do to be encouraged every day. So, of course, you're here. I'm grateful. And on top of
Thank
that, you're a
you.
Carolina girl. So anytime I cross paths
Yes.
with Carolina girls, it makes all the difference in the world. It's just a sorority beyond
Yes.
sorority. It's a connection that can't even be explained,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
So once I learned that, yeah, you were already in. You're in. Yeah. And you have a voice. I love your sound.
Thank
And,
you.
I can't wait to see where you're going to go.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
really do.
I'm excited
Yeah.
about it.
God
Have you
is just amazing.
have you
Go ahead. I'm
always
sorry.
sang? Have you always sang?
Um,
What's the
for
background?
my family, I've always been the singer at the family reunions and things like that. Anytime the family was together, come on, girls, like 5 years old, come on and sing for us, girls. So they are the reason that I sing. So yes, God used them to, bring it out of me at a young age. So I
Right.
just kept on singing.
And it's
Yeah,
a great thing. It's a release to sing.
it is.
It
It
is.
really is.
And
Yeah.
it's a conversation. I look at it like a
Hmm.
conversation between you and your spirit, and
Hmm.
then your relationship with God. It just depends on the depth and
Yeah.
how you're singing. It really makes a difference. Now, it's been a long
Amazing.
time for myself to sing. It's always been family singing like that from
Mm.
childhood up. So I don't really sing a lot anymore, not in public, put it that way. Now, maybe
Oh,
around the
okay.
house, things like that. But at the same time, it's such a release, and I find
It
myself
is.
singing or humming. Like if I'm upset about something, I need to get something off, I hum.
Mm.
I do. Old
It
school.
reminds me of a scripture. Um, how it's called the great exchange when we take off our burdens and
Yes.
put on the garment of praise. So that's what that reminds me of. And that's
Hmm.
exactly what we do when we are offering up our praises and our
Yeah.
worship,
Yeah.
not just in song, but in our lives, our daily
Absolutely.
reflection.
Hmm.
So we're giving it over to God and just trusting Him, just worshiping Him in our submitted heart. So yeah, I hear you. That's amazing. That's beautiful how you
I
put that.
know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just like sometimes you have to hum it out because there aren't words, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Just hum it out. And then if something comes of it, then great. But I'm quick to
that's right.
record too. So
Mm,
looking at it from side by side, like I was saying, the platform was launched due to me writing my book. And with writing How I Became Fabulous and the Lady all the time, a lot of people
mhm.
ask, well, what is the deal with fabulous? What do you mean?
Wow.
How do you become fabulous? And in one word, that's what I describe myself as. I'm always fabulous. And it's all
Amen.
due to the things I've gotten through. And going through those things, it took reading my word, right?
Wow.
And having and building greater conversations with God
Mm,
daily, because who else is going to get you through anything
mhm.
greater, right? So
Right.
doing that, and I always say, you know what, God, you are so fabulous. And by me saying that, and then identifying myself as fabulous because I am reflection of Him, so that's where fabulous came from.
Woo.
You see,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
that type of a deal. So when someone look at the cover and they say, the title, How I Become Fabulous, how did you, what do you mean by it? How do you even come up with the title? And it's
Mm.
because that's why.
Yeah.
You know, you never look like your circumstances or the things that you've gotten through, you know.
That's right. Yeah. I was reflecting on that today, like in just preparation for the live, just talking to the Father, and
Yeah.
my heart just became overwhelmed with gratitude, like just reflecting on what He's brought me from, and
Right.
trusting me even right now to go live and speak on Him, because
Yes.
I know where I've come from. So I just, I just spoke to the Father. I was like, Lord, it was all worth it. Everything that I went through,
It
even
is.
things that I may be going through now, it's
Right.
all worth it. I can
Right.
look back now and say it was worth it,
It
you know?
is. It is. And,
Mm,
because sometimes things do, it kind of leaps on you. And being grateful for it all,
mm,
regardless of what it was or how horrific it could have been, tragic, but to come out on the other side of
yeah.
that and still be grateful in the midst of it all. And it's some things, some challenges right now that I'm trying to tweak and work out for the next couple of weeks. And it kind of just got to me today. I was working on that. It got to me. And
Mm-hmm.
lo and behold, my auntie just calls out of the blue. She called, "Oh, girl, you feel heavy in my spirit. What's going on?" I said,
Mm.
"Oh, nothing." But she knew better. She knew better. But after talking to her, again, he knows who to send and at the right time to get through those
He
pivotal
does.
moments
Hmm.
all the time. So that's where
Yeah.
gratitude lies. You can't help but be grateful all the
Mm.
time in the midst of it
That's right.
all. So I'm coming from a writer's standpoint and how I
Okay.
write, okay? And with you being a writer also, you're just writing lyrics. I'm
Yeah.
writing literature, you're writing lyrics. It's still a message.
It
It's
is.
it's still a ministry. It's still
It is.
getting the word out according to our actual relationship, the depths of it
Mhm.
and how it comes across on every day, being transparent to inspire.
Exactly.
You see?
Vulnerable.
Very
Yeah.
vulnerable. Sometimes you got to
Yes.
pull the veil back. You have to pull it back.
You do. And people feel it when you do that.
Yeah.
They can feel
Yeah.
that authenticity. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what I love about it. Yes, and
Yeah.
it's a therapy as well. God has
Oh,
given us
yeah.
this gift, but it's also we're putting our heart on
Right.
paper. You know what I mean? And
Right.
other people are just being blessed by it in the same breath. So it's
Right.
amazing how He uses us.
It's a gift. It really
It
is.
is.
And it's a different type of strength to share it.
Mm,
You know, we all have different stories. It's inevitable. We have those stories. However, not
mm-hmm.
everyone is willing to share theirs for whatever reasons.
Right.
So to be
Mm-hmm.
able to take pen to paper and write it out in a memoir or to write it out as a song, that
Mm-hmm.
is gift. To sing it out, to have
Yes.
someone else to sing it, or however you look at that.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at it for myself, like you were saying before, it's very therapeutic. And when you think you're doing it in secret just for healing of yourself, because that's what I thought
Mm-hmm.
when I was writing. I was told to write the book. I wrote the book and thought that was it for my personal healing,
Yeah.
me. It wasn't. So as I was just about done, he said, you're gonna go ahead and publish that.
Wow.
I said, who are you talking to? I know you're not talking to me. Who? Valerie Miller? Share her stuff. Share it with the world. Are you kidding me? You got to be kidding, big brother. Who? And guess what? I did. He said, you're going to do it and you're going to self-publish it. You're going to do it the way I
Mm,
say, and that's it.
wow.
And grateful for that because of how I go back and look at it now, things that are happening in my life now because it's a 3-part trilogy. So I'm still working on 2, thinking it would have been out 2 years ago, but it hasn't been. And it's all
Okay.
due to things that are happening right now, juice that has to go in it that I never knew
Mm-hmm.
would have to, circumstances, locations. So many things have taken place in the past couple of years that I never thought would. Never thought it. However, it did, and I'm grateful. That's all I'll say. It'll come out. The juice comes out in the book. But your juice is coming out in the lyrics. You have something new to premiere later on.
I do. Yes. Hope you guys will love it.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. I did share your first release on my timeline today. And
you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. I tagged you in it. And I figured
okay.
it would be great to have a sneak peek and just hear your sounds.
I appreciate that.
Anytime. I usually do that just to give an idea of what your sound is like, of what it is that you do. Like an introduction prior to the introduction of the room.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always good. It's always good. And I did enjoy it. I said, oh, and of course I've listened to you before when we first connect. I snoop. I have to do due diligence. I have to do due diligence just to see what's going on with the timeline, what's happening, Facebook, Instagram. I'll take a
Please do the due diligence.
I do to make sure. I have to, cross the T's and dot I's. But at the same time, I always know when I've made a great choice to allow someone to come into the room because it's important. And I know it's something that you have to share, that the Sparrows and your followers alike can come into the room and take away, because you come in one way, however you leave different every single week, because it's something that we all can share, something that we can all take away and even offer. So Sparrows, don't be shy. Be sure, post your comments, questions, everything into the room. In the event we can get around to it, because I always take my glasses off, and I take them off so I can't read the comments because I'm giving you full on attention, just looking at it from that standpoint. But then I'll put them on and see if I can catch something in the meantime. And then we'll bring it into conversation. So I may be doing that periodically. But you've been singing since you were a little girl. And you're a Carolina girl, so I know what that's like. And being a Carolina gal, we're different. We're different. We're raised different. We view things different. It is the Bible Belt, right? So you look at these things.
Most definitely.
We're raised and we stand out like thorns. No matter where we go in the world, we stand out like that. And I've learned that traveling and living abroad, and how we can still connect even if we're on different soil. That's a big fat plus. It's a plus.
Yeah.
But with you doing what you are doing now, have you always known that your gift itself was your vocals?
That's a good question. Wow. I have always used music as therapy. I mean, like as a young child. So people would tell me, my family is so amazing. They, like I said, they would always call me out to sing, and they would speak into me.
Right.
My mother was like my biggest fan, and they just spoke it into me. I had no choice but to believe. The Bible says, train up your child, and they just helped me in that process to see who I was. You know what I mean? So I guess I could say, I was in like 5 years old singing in my room to the brushes and and trying to imitate Michael Jackson. I fell in love with Michael Jackson at a young age.
Wanting to be Janet. Yeah, I remember those days too.
Oh yeah. So I've always been like fascinated. Then I gave my life to Christ. My sister said since the womb. But I gave my life to Christ, and just the fact that I could express my love and adoration through worship,
right.
And just that in-depth feeling of His presence. You know what I mean? It's just like now that's what I live. So that's what I'm seeking when I'm on stage. You know what I'm saying? I want people to feel it as well. Now,
Right.
he lives on the inside of us. He's omnipresent, but the weight of his glory, I want people to experience that. If that makes sense. So,
It does make sense.
yeah,
And you have to live it
yeah.
to understand it. You have to
Did I
go
enjoy
through the
singing?
experience.
Did I enjoy singing when I was young? Oh, yes. I would sing in the hallways to other students. Everyone knew I could sing. So, yeah, they
Uh-huh.
would call me to the side and sing. I've always been kind of shy,
Mm-hmm.
but, I would sing in school. I would. And people knew I was a singer. So, yes, I did
That's a
enjoy
good
it.
thing. That's a good thing.
Eh, yeah,
Because
so.
there are traces along the way, and we may not recognize them in the beginning, like singing in
Mm-hmm,
school, glee club, stuff like that,
mm-hmm,
and in church, traveling on Sundays. I remember that my family used
yeah.
to travel on Sunday from church to church, and thought
Yes.
everybody did that. I was a young kid. I didn't know. But my friends did it, and it was just a family thing, like across the board in
Mhm,
family, especially on my dad's side. That's what we did. So to me, that was a norm. It was a
mhm.
norm. So the love of music was always there. It was surrounding. Mom playing music in the house to clean, to praise,
Yes.
dancing, all that stuff was
Mhm,
in the house. And then singing on Sundays, traveling church to church, those types of things. So again, thinking that it's a norm. It wasn't a norm for
mhm.
everybody, but it was
No,
for us. It was.
for your family.
So that was instilled in me from, like you,
Mm,
childhood. And having that and knowing that it was foundation.
mm.
You can have your praise, you can read your word, all of these things, but at the same time, music speaks volumes. It's different genres of music. I never had one particular type because if I enjoyed it, it didn't matter the genre. I enjoyed it because it's a
Mhm.
message. Every song
The
has a
message.
message, whether it's a good one or a bad one. It was a message. But how are you attaching yourself to it? How is it helping you in your life at that pivotal moment, at that
That's
period of
good.
time, and looking at it
That's
for that?
good.
Because that's how I got through things writing.
Mm.
I would journal and I'd listen to music. And if I wasn't doing that, I was somewhere praying or writing my Dear God letters, like, Dear God,
Yeah.
today was that kind of day. You already
Mm.
know. However, and we just
However.
keep doing. Yeah. And we just keep
Woo.
going.
All
You
right.
see?
That however.
It was a
Yes.
however. Like, you're present,
However.
but this is just conversation
Mhm.
with him. And that's how we go about
Yes.
doing it. And music has always been in the
Mm.
center, always in the center, and it always will be.
Yeah.
That's where this platform came from because of that.
Praise. Mm.
It's all the same. Whether if
Yeah.
you write it in a book, if you write it in a journal, if you're having your conversations, it's a conversation platform. So just like I write those Dear John, no, Dear John, those Dear God letters,
Dear God. Mhm.
and you notice my timeline, it's always a Dear Sparrow. So it's
Yeah.
like I'm talking specifically to you about whatever it is that I'm talking about.
So you
That's how it
chose
comes
the word
across.
sparrow. Did you get that from like the scripture? I wanted to ask you that,
Yeah.
Matthew, when it's talking about the sparrows.
Yes, Luke 12:6, and how my dad had a Bible study with us as a kid. So it goes that
Mm,
far back, probably 7 or 8 years old. And he was talking about the sparrows that particular Sunday. So every Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock, we would have Bible study. So that particular Sunday, he talked about sparrows and how man didn't value them for much.
mm,
And you can buy 5 of them for just 2 cents, a penny, two
wow.
cents, And that's how
Mm,
I transitioned that to life. It doesn't matter how somebody else view you. God's got you. If you trust him, he's
that's good.
got you no matter what. So whenever I'm referencing any type of conversation, I say, Dear Sparrow, and reference everybody as a sparrow because we're all sparrows. We need
Amen.
for nothing because he provide everything if you believe and trust that. So that's where that comes from.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's so
Thank you
relative.
for sharing. Yes.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So being in, situations and coming through things like the basis of the book, my son
Mm-hmm.
passed away. He was stillborn. So with him being stillborn, how my life changed because he died, it changed every aspect of it. So when I got to the point to where I had a great life, everything's good, feeling like I've dealt with it all, in reality, I hadn't. Subconsciously, it was still there, even though I'm living this life. I knew something wasn't quite right. And when you have those prayers and you're like, God, what in the world is it? Something's not right. Something's missing. What is it? And then when you start showing, you start revealing, then it's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And it's many years later, many years. And then he had the audacity to say, write a book, And I used to threaten with my friends, say, my life is so juicy, I'm going to write a book. My life is a page turn. I'm writing a book. Little did I know, every time I would put it out there, it's now come back boomerang. So things happen, events take place to where what you speak into the universe, you put it out there, it can easily come back. When it goes back to the wise ones, be careful of what you ask for because you'll end up getting it. And
Mm-hmm.
now I've been writing all my life, but now I'm writing to the point to where that's all I want to do. I want to share the life
Yeah.
experiences, because whereas most people, what happens here stays here, let's not talk about that. I'm the
Mm-hmm.
opposite of that because I know the reward, the healing from it. I know what can come from that and how other people benefit from you sharing. So
Yes.
it's a wonderful thing, even with this platform being,
Right. I
you know,
appreciate
open to do this and
I
talk
can
about it.
appreciate anyone that shares testimony or just
Right.
vulnerability with people because
Yeah.
I can remember how when I was going through things, I was younger and I would hear other women telling their stories and testimonies and how it
Uh-huh.
helped me to
Hmm.
just look at myself and be like, okay, if they did this, if they got through this, I can get through this. So
Absolutely.
the next generation is looking for us now, to see what God has done. Like my
Right.
cousin said, having the faith of the size of a mustard seed, that's all
Absolutely.
it takes, So even when we have those bad days, but however, God is still good and
However,
He's faithful, He's
hmm
loyal, So it's
yeah.
grateful for Him.
Yeah. He's got it. Just turn it
Amen.
over and
It's in
move
my
on.
earbud.
It's in your earbud.
It's in
Yes.
my earbud.
Oh my gosh. But you know
Yes.
what? Veronica Mars, yeah, your story heals others. Yeah, it has
Mm-hmm.
to heal because it's not doing anybody any good to keep it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Why keep the secrets? There's no
Yeah.
reason, just, be who you are. And I'm constantly saying, I introduce you to yourself. And you can also introduce yourself to you by being honest and assessing yourself and looking at yourself in the mirror and having those deep rooted
Yes.
conversations just by looking yourself pupil to pupil and say, you know what,
Mm-hmm.
girl, you need to stop or whatever. Like you need to deal with this. Like, why are you burdened with that? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And stepping out of familiar. We hide behind what we know sometimes because there's fear versus the faith of having that and stepping out and doing some things that's different that can better your life. And everything that unfolds from releasing that book, leaving corporate America, starting my own business, being a conscious lifestyle strategist, and looking at the focus of serving other people because I couldn't do it working. I couldn't do it always in the rat race every day of the life that I built for myself. So it's almost like the Twin Towers when they came down and you're at ground zero. That's how our lives have to be looked at sometimes. It has to fall down to ground zero in order to be rebuilt the way God intends for you to be. So you have birthright responsibilities. So you have that option of choice if you're going to concede to it, or you're going to exercise your right to have free will and live and stay in familiar, you know? So I just opt to do birthright gifts, what he gave me, and using that and utilizing life experiences in order to
Yes.
serve and help others to get into the space where they can be introduced to themselves, the one that they never met before,
Mm,
stepping out there, you know?
of course. When we're serving, I just feel like that's everyone's purpose. We're made in
Yeah,
his image. And
yeah,
he even said, he came to serve
right.
rather than to be served. Jesus said that. So
Exactly.
we're made in his image. That is our purpose, to
It
serve
is.
and just be a blessing and a light, a beacon to others. I just know when I'm serving and helping people, I get this feeling on the inside. I can't even explain it, but it just gives me so much
It's
joy,
joy.
you know?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's just makes me feel so wonderful just to be a blessing
Mm-hmm.
to people. So
And you
even
want
that
to
goes
do more
back
of
to
it.
sharing. Exactly. You want to see what else can I do? What else
Right.
can I do, Lord? Just show me, help me to be a blessing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So a little bit more about you. Now you have a
hmm
day job.
Yes, I have a day
You have a
job.
day job.
I'm a child nutrition manager for Wake County
Yes.
Public Schools. I
Yes.
love it. I love it. I love it. With the babies,
Mm-hmm.
it's just awesome to see children and serve them daily and to serve others. So we just had our big meeting today. So just to see everyone that I work with, because I've been with them over a decade now. So just to
Yes, I
see
saw that.
everyone. Yes. So just to see how God is even promoting people, even in this season, it's just so exciting. I also have I partnered with the wonderful Dion Selby. She's the
Awesome.
owner of a local community center, Perfectly Flawed.
Okay.
So we just opened our health and wellness boutique there. And
Love it.
yes, and I have my own T-shirt line. God did it attire,
It's
and
crazy
all
cute.
the oh, thank
Crazy
you.
cute.
Everything is just God is just doing amazing things. He gave me these visions years ago, and they're
Mm-hmm.
finally coming into manifestation. So
Oh,
it's just time. It's just
it
time.
is time, and timing is everything, you know.
hmm
And then just, I was kind of looking over some things for the past 6 months or so, going into 2020. That's the year of
Yes.
vision. Vision.
2020.
2020 is vision. And looking at that, it is so, you just get excited because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's
That's
going
right.
to come, but you know it's fabulous. You know it's fabulous.
God did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
We'll look back and say God did it when it happens.
Right. Okay. Cheryl Jones has a comment. She said, when we fall down, we get back up, pick up our cross, and continue on. Because of God's love for us, we can lay our, what was that burden down?
Come on.
Amen.
Yes. Amen,
Yeah,
cousin.
that's
I love
that's
that.
that's a wonderful thing. And looking at that and moving into, like I said, 2020, that is power within itself.
Mm,
Just say 2020. And was just writing some notes down, forever writing, constantly writing, and looking at visions and what vision mean to me. My
hmm
main company is Visions LLC because
Okay.
I have so many ideas and visions, things that come all the time, to where you have to write them down. Write them down. Write them down. Doesn't mean that everything's going to come today or tomorrow.
Right, right.
Eventually, the time is going to come when it
It
will
will.
be
I'm a witness
perfectly
to that.
timed. Yeah, and looking at that, and looking at virtual interior design, and
Mm,
herbal cosmetics, all these things, making cosmetics by hand. and all of the healing properties and using the essentials and herbs and things like that because of particulars. Everything is personalized that I do. Everything.
Wow.
And it's just one of those things that I have to appreciate. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
the simple fact of knowing no two people are the same. We don't have the same fingerprints. Zebras don't have the same stripes, as
Mm-hmm.
well as a leopard didn't have the same spots. So looking at those things and identifying who we are, it takes conversation to get to know who
Yes.
each other is, how we are sculpt, what our purposes are, and to not treat each other as one and the same. We're only unified as human race,
Mm.
as a people. Outside of that, take the time and the initiative to get to know each other in order to be you and be fabulous all the time. So having those types of visions and living according, and then with you doing what you do too with nutrition, those things makes a difference. And working on the alternative health side for a period of time myself and making these products, it took that because of where I was at that particular time in my life. Looking at those types of things with nutrition and having different
Mm-hmm.
types of blood types, I had to learn that is different types of foods according to blood types. So many people didn't know that. So many people don't even know what their blood type is and wonder
You're
why
right.
they're ill. Because, baby, you're eating everything you shouldn't be eating with your blood type.
Mm.
Those types of things.
Yeah.
It's
It's important.
education. It
Mm-hmm.
is. And we can have all of these layers, all of these
Mm-hmm.
gifts of things that we can do, knowledge. And it's all about having the awareness and sharing that with community, just like this. Like you have a voice to sing, you also have a voice for nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Health
getting
and
that information
wellness.
out. Health and wellness, it makes a difference. It takes every scope and every pillar of life to be well balanced.
It
And if
does.
anything is off, then your life is not balanced. And you're going to
Yeah.
need some songs. You're going to need some praise.
I need everything.
You're going to need all of it because you don't know
Yeah.
yourself.
Mm.
You don't know
Mm.
yourself.
That's right. That's what
So,
we're trying to get into. We just started our online shopping club,
uh-huh,
and it's geared toward wellness and health. So we are trying to feed your mind, body, and spirit at the community
absolutely.
center. Yeah. So God has just partnered me with the most wonderful people, and we
Right.
have a lot in store for next year.
Yeah.
So,
I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled about it. And it's really miraculous too, because those I hit all of those pillars whenever I'm coaching and different types of strategies. That's why it's conscious
hmm
lifestyle strategy.
it's
It's
important. Yeah.
strategies to align yourself with yourself so you can live according every day in every area. It's not just health and wellness, but it's also in your relationships, it's within your
Mm-hmm.
faith, it's within what you choose as a career. Because sometimes your career could be killing you slowly.
Mm-hmm.
It's your career of choice. And sometimes you have to balance that thing out and do what you were actually born to do. And once you do that, you're greater off.
Mm-hmm.
So much
That's
better.
true. That's true.
Mm-hmm. So I want to say this. Where do you see yourself in the
Oh
next
Lord.
year? 1 year from today, what has changed? Like, imagine that vision. We're going to be in 2020 on this day, September
Mm-hmm.
30, 2020. Where do you see yourself?
2020. I don't like to put limits on myself or
No,
God because we have
no.
to be careful. But
hmm What
I'll
he's
just say
already
this.
shown you.
Right, because if you would have asked me this last year about, this year, I would have never guessed where,
Uh-uh.
where I would be right now. So
Yeah,
just stay tuned. Is all I
yeah. That is a fact. That is a
can say.
fact. Because 12 months
because
ago, I couldn't have said this either. I couldn't have.
right.
I couldn't have.
So
That's a great wiggle
I
out.
just feel like, just stay tuned because I'm staying tuned myself. I'm walking by faith.
That's all we ever have. And just
Yeah.
trust that, and depend on them
Hmm.
to get where you're going.
Yeah.
That's
I just,
the juice for it, real talk. So that
right.
was a great save for yourself, because I have to say
Thank
it
you.
for myself. It's tough. It's tough. We don't know what tomorrow brings versus a year from
Right.
now. You know,
Yes.
there's no way I would have imagined this a year ago.
Mm.
No way. But the people that I've been privileged to meet, I can't complain. I'm so grateful.
Mm.
And I have no idea of where this is going, but I know it's something miraculous. I trust
Mhm.
that. I know.
Yes. Oh,
Otherwise,
yeah.
I mean, how else would we have met? We wouldn't have.
Right. God is amazing. And I put in some prayer for you today, not to show off, but I just believe God is going to do some amazing things to this platform. So just keep
Okay.
focused and don't give up. Just
Oh, never.
keep on with that. However, 'cause I like that. I'm
However,
gonna use that. I like that. However,
it's always
okay.
however.
However,
I know you
I
see it,
did the
but what are we
rock.
going to do with it? Absolutely.
I did the rock. However,
Absolutely. Yeah. Trust me, you're going to see it
yeah.
around. But, you have to look at things in the present. Being conscious is now, is right now,
Mhm.
and dealing with what's in front of you and not taking
Mhm.
it out of context,
Mhm.
but really seeing and being present. There's so many
Mhm.
people into the future, into next year, into the next few months, and haven't even taken a glimpse of today to know how it could be different for you if you just stand in the midst of it and
Mhm.
say thank you for it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
Today is a
simple.
gift.
It is.
Today is a gift. Now, don't get me wrong. I do. I write my visions and
That's
excuse me.
great.
I wrote a vision for this year,
Mm-hmm.
and so I have my vision laid out now. But I give it to God. I'm like, okay, God, this is what I see. So whatever you want to do,
Do that because I
because
want
He doesn't
that.
think like we do. He
Absolutely
doesn't think
not.
like we do. He doesn't. He knows everything. So
Yeah,
that's why it's just the Bible tells us to write our vision, but
make it
you
plain.
know, make it plain, like my sister said.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Oh, of
Veronica,
course. Thank you, Miss
you're
Veronica.
so sweet, Veronica.
That's
Thank
your
you,
sister.
sissy.
That is
That's my
so
baby sister.
sweet.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is my greatest cheerleader. She is on here every platform all the time. She just
oh,
is.
thank
I'm
you,
so
cousin.
grateful.
That was
So
so sweet.
it is. She's that. She is a big fat heart. That's what she is. And I appreciate her so much. I have the best sisters in the world. My family is over the top fabulous. They are.
Oh,
And I can't be more grateful. No matter which direction I go in, because they know I'm so adamant. If I say God said, they just do that because they
that's all.
know it's going down. It's
It's
going
going
down.
down.
It's going
Come on
down
now.
because I don't know what it means. I don't know where it's going. Like I said to you, I tell every guest that come on either of my platforms, and right now it's three of them, you know. But I know I've always wanted to be in journalism. I've always wanted to be in some form of communication, entertainment. Little did I
Mm,
know that it would be now. That was
wow.
years ago, high school, and wanting
Yeah.
to be a journalist and things like that. But I always wanted to report good news. And my older sister said to me, well, you will not be successful in that because the world is full of bad news. But again, I have that in my mind. I am
Mm-hmm.
going to report good
What the good.
news. It's good news. And I worked for USA Today for about 7 years. And that was one of the reasons I left because they made so much more money. It was profitable when it was tragedy that took place in the world. They sold more newspapers because of something horrible happening. And I just didn't want to be a part of that anymore. So, and looking at it for what it was, I'm very optimistic. It's all about success and people being happy and in alignment with themselves, because whenever we can have those glimpses of memory and recall when we're the happiest, everything and everybody around is happy because we're happy. So if you can bottle that and do it every day, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That's how I think. So having that in mind, I wanted to be a reporter of good news.
That's
So now,
awesome.
yeah. So I will
What?
be
That
that
is
reporter
awesome.
running around the city
You
asking
are the
people good
reporter.
news right now.
You're giving them the good news now.
Right.
Jesus Christ. Come on
The
now.
news, the only
The
good news you
news. The
need.
only come on. That's all you need.
The
Okay.
word of the day, Jesus.
Jesus. That is the good news. You knew in
That is
high school.
it. I knew back then, but and
Amen.
like visions and the way I have visions spells,
Mhm.
I again didn't choose it. Came to me in a dream one night when I had to be maybe 21, 22 years old. I woke up and I wrote it down and went back to sleep. And I woke up and looked at it the next day. I said, visions. And I was so into interior design and, fashion, things like that, thinking that I would always open a boutique of some sort and I would call it
Oh.
visions. But that wasn't the case. It was all the ideas of things that I have seen in the preview and I know is coming. And then I sit back sometimes and look at it, I'm like, oh my goodness, at least 4 of those things have come to fruition. At least 4 right now. And threatening to write books. I've written several books. I have titles to at least 7. One's out.
Wow.
2 is already nearly done. It's going to be a
Hmm.
3-part trilogy, and it's going to be several more. So all of this writing, I never thought I would have time to do. I'm still that journalist. I'm still on air. I'm still writing. And even though tragedies have happened, I'm reporting it as good news because it's good in the end when you have Christ, when you have Big Brother. And if you read my books, I always say Big
Yes.
Brother. He's the Son of God. He's our Father. So it makes him
Son of
Big Brother. So I talk to him like that because at the end of the day, when you have him, it's going to always be good news. So that is how I operate, lady.
And one of my favorite scriptures, all things are working together for
Yeah,
our good. So we will see the good. It's
right.
working and we will see it. And
We will
that's
see it.
how our perspective is. That's how your perspective has aligned with the mind of
Yeah,
Christ.
yeah.
Awesome.
That's my guy.
Mm,
Because when you have him, you do have everything. Because without him, you never get to God, ever. You won't.
right.
So it's knowing the proper protocol of things and knowing and assessing yourself. You have to know who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, how are you getting anywhere?
Mm.
You can't, you know? Honey, we can go forever. We can go
This is
forever.
good.
It is. It's always juicy. It's
It is.
juicy
I see.
all the time. And I've noticed how you've leaned back, you've sat back in the chair because you get
I was
comfy.
like, I'm too close up at this camera. I was like, let me move back here.
No, but you can be relaxed. And like I said, it's just like
Mhm.
girlfriends talking. That's all it
Mhm.
is. And the hour is right up on us. See how quick that
Wow.
was? And
Oh,
and you made a promise. No, we'll have to do it again. It's to the point of where I
yes.
don't have enough slots to fill everybody and to be having a lot of repeats. That's why I asked you if you had an Instagram because we can always pop on anytime on Instagram.
Oh, yes. LaTonya Meori.
Yeah,
Definitely do that.
we can do that. But before I turn you over to do the premiere,
Oh.
before before, and you just stated that LaTonya Meori on Instagram, they can see right now your handle for Facebook. Is there any other mediums that you're on?
YouTube, LaTonya Meori. I have a Twitter account. I really don't go on. Like, I'm start going on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's just, you don't want to get consumed with all this social media, but it's like you almost have to sometimes. But I'm just, I'm in the middle. I'm old school, new school. I'm right there in the middle. So,
Right. In
I
time. In
anytime
time. Because it consumes a lot of time.
it
And I've
does.
learned how to link, different platforms together. So when I
Oh
post on
yeah,
one, it automatically posts on another. So I don't have
I've
to
heard
think
about that.
twice about it. Yes, please do. And I did subscribe to you on YouTube. And of course,
Oh, thank you.
you're welcome. I'll be downloading this and putting it on my YouTube because all of my broadcasts are at the Valerie Miller. So I tend to put the guests there. So when someone searches for you, they can now see you
Oh,
in this
thank you.
engagement too. You're welcome. Because, being an artist or whatever the platform or whatever that you do, you can be in social media, and that's just what paparazzi or whomever views of you from exterior. It's not a lot of times, even with interviews, and most people think this is an interview. It's not. We're just having conversations. It's a
Mhm.
difference. That interview, I will send LaTonya at least an X amount of questions. Hey, girl, this is what we're going to talk about. And that's going to be the
Mhm.
extent of it. However, you will never hear those words come from my mouth. What you will hear me say is it's an unscripted platform. And
It
however
is.
God choose, that's the conversation that's going to come out because that's needing to be shared this very moment. So it makes it more relaxed and comfortable, and you can literally let your hair down and enjoy a conversation and share some things that you probably wouldn't share during an interview. It's more intimate, you know?
Right.
So that's always good. That's always good. Juicy
I
is
love
as juicy is. Now,
it.
what are you going to premiere tonight?
I want to premiere my single Superman. And
Superman.
Superman,
Okay.
because he's my Superman. You know,
Love it.
as children, we have our superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
This song is just talking about how he's our strength, how he fights for us, and nobody compares to him. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of a metaphor of Superman. Someone helped
Love
me
it.
write it. They gave me the concept. When I heard the music to it, I was like, I don't know about this. So he wrote to it and showed me what he did. I was like, wow. So I wrote the second verse. He wrote the first verse.
I love it.
Yeah, Superman.
So we get to get it right now.
Yes. Let me make sure my Bluetooth is hooked up correctly. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. This is
Excuse me.
excited. Huh.
Yes, sir.
Superman. I like it.
Thank you. So yeah, should, yeah,
The ultimate hero.
that's right.
Thank you so much, Sparrows, for coming in tonight. It's always much gratitude. And to all of those, catching the replay, much appreciated. Just be sure that you follow LaTonya and get to know her, stay abreast of her journey so you can see the unveilings as they come. It's no greater time than, to catch someone as they're soaring up just to see how high they're going to
Appreciate
go.
that. Sorry if my chair is making noise. Okay.
It's
You
okay.
ready?
Ready.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't trade him for the world. Not for the day of my soul. Jesus is his name. My God can lead tall buildings. He's faster than the speed of light. Whoa. He can search the souls and heart of me. His love never runs out. He's got plenty. My God is awesome. His love never fails. He can do the impossible, 'cause it's not a burden. It's not a burden. It's not a burden. It's just my turn. Come to save the day. Wouldn't trade him for the world. Not even for the fame. Never run my soul. Jesus is his name. My God is the way. He's the truth and the light. He will never leave my side. He's more powerful than any man that meets the eye. When I'm weak, he is strong. He gives me so much grace to hold on. My God is awesome. His love never fails. He can do the impossible. 'Cause it's not a verse. Oh, yeah. It's just my turn. Come to save the day. Yeah. Wouldn't trade him for the whole world. Not for the day of my soul. Jesus is his name.
Amen. Jesus.
Love it.
Jesus is his name. I hope y'all can hear it.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Thank you.
Congrats on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
When
We're
is the
excited.
actual release?
November. Looking for November. Yeah. So
Okay.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Let me know. Let me know when it
I
drops.
sure will. Yeah.
And we can always drop in and do a quick mini commercial when you release
of
it.
course.
Okay.
I would love that. Yes.
We can do that. I'm thrilled. Superman.
Thank you, Miss
Jesus
Valerie.
is his name. You're quite welcome. This was great. I told you it'd be easy breezy.
You did. You did. Yeah.
And the hour would blink by, and it did.
You did. I was like, I don't know.
A whole hour?
A whole hour. And it did. This is wonderful.
Yeah, that's what happens when we have juicy conversations. Those that are good, things that you want to share, and you know that somebody is going to receive something great from it. So you can't help it. I had to start taming back because, when I first started, I would go, honey. I would go until we get tired of talking. And so I'm like, can't be doing this all the time. Be too long. Have to break this thing up. Like, no, an hour, girl, stop. But that's how juicy it is. And then there are times I invite guests back. So that's why I say I have the many commercials in place. We can do that. Some other things take place that that are coming on. Just keep me abreast. And if we need to reschedule, then we'll reschedule and bring you back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. I would appreciate it. I would love to. Wonderful.
Good, good.
And thank you everyone for tuning in.
Yes, it's always great to have the
Yes.
sparrows in the room because they're the greatest supporters in the whole world.
Yeah.
They really are. And very supporting to guests as well. So that's what we need. We
Beautiful.
need villages that stand up and support and are there. It makes sense to do. And if you can do it for one, you can do it for all. That's what sparrows are like. It's all about family and community. So I want to say thank you to you for joining us, sharing your gift, sharing your life and testimony of things. And this is just a glimpse because there's so much more that's going to come. And you're a sparrow, of course, so you have to come back home and share it. What's going
Of course, I
on?
will. That's true.
That's it. So that's it tonight, Sparrows. We've had the pleasure of having LaTonya Meori in the room with us. She's premiered her new Superman release. So be keeping your eyes and ears open for an actual date for
Yes.
November. So this year is rounding out. Make sure you have your visions in place of the things that you've had previews for. Going into 2020, do not sleep. You prepare in advance. Don't wait until. So you start preparing in advance, and we're rounding that last quarter of 2019. So make those visions plain. You're going to need them. And stay prayed up. All that good, juicy stuff. Intensify your relationship because that's when you hear him clearest. So on that note, LaTonya, I'm going to say love without conditions. Always possess a positive attitude and soar in all you do. I love you, mean it. Be blessed and be fabulous. Okay? That's all I got for you tonight. So smooches to everybody. Have a great evening. Tanya, thank you. We'll be in touch.
You're welcome.
And Sparrows,
Okay.
enjoy the remainder of your week. Okay? Love you, mean it. Ciao.
Bye. Thank y'all. Bye.
Bye.